Welcome to my maiden video here on Common Sense. And the first bit of logic we're going to introduce to question is regarding what to some is the world famous Aggie ring. Now, what I have here, for those that are uninitiated or unfamiliar rather, is a 1992, which if you can see right there up on the shield, it's denoted by a 9-2. That's for the class of 92. It also has a shield that has 13 stripes that refers to the 13 original colonies of the country. That's set atop an eagle, meant to represent the heights to which Aggies are capable of soaring. Now, on one side, you find the star, which is reminiscent of the Constitution of 1845 of the state of Texas. It's encircled by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and willingness to fight for one's beliefs. On the opposite side, we find a crossed saber and a crossed rifle over a cannon. That's to remind Aggies to never forget the sacrifices made for them today, and to be willing to fight to the death for the sacrifices for those that come tomorrow. Now, you also have, flanked from those two armaments, an American flag and a Texas flag, which represents the dual allegiance that Aggies are supposed to have to both their state and country. Now, that's what most Aggies will tell you is the depth of their knowledge regarding the Aggie ring. Now, for those who are current students at A&M, I encourage you to seek out some of your local pawn shops, and actually you probably can get one for pretty close to melt value and get it a lot cheaper than they're charging at Balfour just by getting the date changed there. If you take a ring to an accomplished jeweler, they should be able to do that for maybe 50 to 100 bucks. It's a lot easier to buy the ring from a pawn shop for pretty much scrap value and get that done than to get, you know, caught into the trappings of the marketing of universities. So if you really want to pick up your Aggie ring, but you're on a tight budget, you know, they're showing up in pawn shops. This one happened to show up at a you know, We Buy Gold type place. There's a little bit more background on that. We won't tell you all about that in this video. What we will tell you though is at least one new thing that you most, if they do have an Aggie ring, probably weren't all too aware of. Now, I must admit and submit, I find a certain degree of irony in the fact that College Station, or rather A&M, has no problem teaching the history of Rome while being absent reminding others as to what brought about its downfall. When one looks to see what history the Aggie ring has made, one recognizes a past occurrence where a jeweler had tried to weight one down with lead. It's funny how they today forever scold that jeweler for trying such a deceit. But again, the purpose of this video right now is to show you something that many of y'all probably did not ever know until now. What that is that these Aggie rings are in fact hollow. Right there, there's actually a void. Yeah, there's actually a void right there. Now, I understand that it's probably a byproduct of, you know, they produce like 10,000 of these things a year, so they've done it on an industrial scale, and this was probably a way to make an ease of manufacturing, and you know, they were able to save on some material costs. Now, this ring was made in 1992. I don't know how much gold was saved. Less than $50. I know that much. But man, they left the rings hollow. Well, in future videos, I'll show y'all how, by just drilling two holes, you can actually turn your Aggie ring into a whistle. And whether it's something you know, the seniors need to use to signal their economic hardships, or the graduates who are getting raped at their rate of employment, it really does not matter. But it at least gives this adornment at least as much utility as one might be able to find out of a Cracker Jack ring, right? I mean, if you're going to be burdened with wearing the chunk of metal, you might as well have some sense of utility. Anyways, for all my pummeling of such a tradition, I will submit it's grounded in the fact that I think it's bogus to try to obtain pretense because you wear some sort of ring on your hand. That's how Rome tried to classify and qualify its citizens, and we all know what happened to Rome. Anyways, without any further ado, I've got my trusty chisel, got my trusty hammer, and we're going to give you guys showtime here to let y'all actually see that the Aggie ring is in fact hollow. So what I'm going to do now is just very lightly tap here and separate that shield. Might take a couple knots. I got a little collection of them. I'm trying to see if I can't get a date, you know. But some people collect coins. I happen to collect the Aggie rings. I figure if I get 200 of any class, that, that's like 2%, right? So you've cleaned up the market. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, this is a little bit stubborn of one. You come across some of these rings like this from time to time. It's coming, just y'all wait. A little bit more chop to it, and we'll have that thing popped right out. Hold on. There it goes. Hooray! Now everyone can actually see the theft and deception that carries on Aggieland. See that? It's hollow. And what's really sad is when you go and you look at their endowment, which is managed by Utemco, and you recognize that they actually took physical possession of gold, and they already have the raw materials possible for making these rings themselves, but they would rather pay someone up in the Northeast to store and secure the raw materials that they dilute and hand out to their students, after charging them, of course, than to entrust it with their professors themselves. Rather, the current tradition in Aggieland is for students, upon receiving their ring, to drop the ring in a pitcher of beer to try to chug the pitcher. Now, I don't know about the rest of Texans, or Americans for that matter, but I think that a far better lesson might have been taught by having the students cast their own rings. I find a great irony in having an engineering school outsource the necessity of making a class ring. What does it tell you when an engineering school outsources as precious of an item as what is represented as an Aggie ring and allows for this type of deterioration of quality?